All right. So so yeah, as I was saying, so Toby has led a lot of products across the fintech, the edtech, and also the e-commerce sector. He's driven by passion and also built for sustainable solutions to as well. So he has driven product growth from zero to one so as well. So he has contributed to communities and structures in tech ecosystem, including People in Products, which is this current one, and also Tredford Africa too, where he has mentored aspiring professionals, spoken at events, and also led initiatives that help others to grow in the tech space. So beyond other products leadership role, he is the co-founder and the head of products and the head of program at People in Product. So guys, can you please give me that emoji to celebrate our speaker for today? So can I see clapping emoji to celebrate? Like, do you know what it takes to be the co-founder of a community that have over thousands, like thousands of products people involved? So it is not a day job, man. So let's celebrate him, and I hope that today we would actually like pay attention. So guys, I want you to get your pen, your jotter. Make sure you take a lot of note, like make sure you take a lot of things down today because you'll be learning a lot. So don't let it catch you unaware. So prepare, take your pen, take your jotter, and let's listen to Toby Olowo Kere. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, good evening everyone. I heard a lot of people talking about moving to Lagos. Come with your raincoat and your canoes because you're going to swim. You will swim. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about vertical and horizontal mentorship. And one thing that strikes out, or the first thing that strikes out to me for that topic is vertical and horizontal. I don't know if you're like me, but till now, I still find it difficult to know which one is vertical and which one is horizontal. So what I always do is one complex method of, when they say horizontal, I think H2O, and I'm like, okay, water is like this, so it has to be like this. And when they say vertical, it has to be like this. It's very, very difficult to sort of remember things like that. There are other things that are also ridiculous, like I can't tell sometimes what is my right or what is my left hand, right? So when they say show me your left hand, you have to like think to us, okay, is this one or is this one? But just ridiculous things around, right? Let me share my screen so that I can go ahead and begin. Today, the most important thing to learn about is how do you get to the next stage. Okay, that's a good one. How do you get to the next stage of your career, right? By leveraging mentorship. Basically, how do you help people around you, and how do you allow people around you to help you to also get to the next stage of your career? Let me share my screen. For some reason, this thing is not coming up. Give me 1 minute to pull that up. Slideshow. Okay. Awesome. So I think that we should be able to see my screen in 5, 4, 3. Okay, I'm going to need to cancel that again. Okay, so I'm just going to share it up. Okay, awesome. So you should be able to see my screen now. So today we want to talk about vertical and horizontal mentorship. Again, I already talked about the fact that it's sometimes difficult for me to differentiate, but first let me introduce myself, right? My name is Toby. You probably saw that already on the banner. And why is this topic very, very important to me, or why do I think I'm a very, very good person or a good fit for this topic? I will tell you in a couple of minutes because I will talk to you about the story about PeopleInProduct started. But one important thing that you need to leave here with today is it might be more important to build your squad than find a guru, right? You might go further with your squad than a guru that you go and talk to once in a week. For me, as the head of programs in PeopleInProduct, one of the things that has helped me the most is the circle of people that I have around me, both on the horizontal side and on the vertical side. But before we even talk about which is which, right? Because it's important to know what is the next thing, which is which, right? And you can then use that to decide the next thing that you need to do. Let's talk about the traps first. There's a joke here somewhere, that Guru Mirage. I don't know if anyone here has passed from Lagos to Ibadan before. There's a place that is Guru Mirage, like Guru Maharaj, right? So there is the Guru Mirage, basically. I mean, if you get that, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is a lot of us fall into the trap of the Guru Mirage, right? And a lot of people that do YouTube a lot fall into this. Someone stands in front of a Lamborghini and tells you to buy a book, or he tells you to buy a course. And because he has a Lamborghini, you're like, that guy's going to be a good mentor for me, because maybe one day I would also be able to afford a Lamborghini. But you forget that today, you're still up kekes, and you don't know how to go from where you are in the keke to the Lamborghini. But for some reason, you feel that when you buy the course, hope is hope, and I'm going to make it possible. You don't want to be one of the people that fall into that trap, because you would end up messaging a lot of people, come and be my mentor, come and help me, and they're not just going to listen to you. It's just what's going to happen. So let me give you a very, very brief story, because if you check my LinkedIn, I said that I would give a lot of stories today. At the beginning of, and when I started my career, right, the goal was to do consulting. I left university and the plan was, okay, I want to work for McKinsey, I want to do Baines and Co, or I want to do BCG. Like top-notch suits every day, go and blast big English and bring the money home, right? Like, and then on Fridays, go and, just splurge. But then I attended an HR meeting one day, or a HR training one day, with the goal of just understanding how human relations or how human resources works at corporate level before I'd gotten a job at all. And when I attended that training, I talked to the person who was in charge of that particular training. Turns out to be the CEO of Trevor. And when I spoke to him, at first it felt like, okay, I need to get someone that is in consulting on a very, very high level so that I can go on to learn what it means to be a consultant. But then he pulls me apart and just tells me, do you know that what they do in consulting is basically the same thing that they do solving problems in tech? So can you check out what product management is? I checked out what product management is. He gave me a couple of resources to go and read. And I think 2 months after, I decided, I want to start a startup, or I want to build a startup. I don't know where that idea came from, but I learned my lessons. I learned my lessons very, very big way. But the very, very big segue there is, first I thought that I needed to get connected to someone that is a partner in BCD or a partner in Baines & Co. Well, newsflash, they are busy. They are not going to reply to my LinkedIn messages. I would send multiple LinkedIn messages, but I'm not going to get responses. On the flip side, here is someone that I went to a training for. He gave me resources to go and read. I read these resources. I get back to him and I tell him, hey, this is what I think about this and this. Oh, by the way, there is this problem that I've been noticing people have been having concerning live online classes during the corona epidemic. Is it possible that you can catalog this somewhere and you have a Udemy platform for live online classes where people can access this fast? And it's like, well, if you think it's a problem, go ahead and solve it. Now, this isn't necessarily you picking or looking for a guru. This is you looking for someone that is very, very close, and you're able to pattern their level of growth, and you're able to learn from their own process. So before I go on to the next point, I know a lot of us here today have reached out to a lot of people on LinkedIn to say, will you be my mentor? And no shame, right? I would just like you to ask in the chat, to drop in the chat, how many just give me over 10. If you sent like 50 messages and only 2 people responded to you, that's 2 over 50, right? So give me in the charts the percentage, or give me in fraction the people that you reached out to that responded and the people that I reached out to all together. I know someone that did 2 over 50, which is why it's very valid in my mind. Oh wow, someone did 0 over 2. So he reached out to 2 people and none of them responded to you. That's a good one. Because I hope that you don't have them as enemies that you want to go and show in the future when you made it that you did not respond to me, but see, I
Well,
made
I
it.
can change my mind if they are the boss.
That's one. So I would like to get from one more person. If you reached out to someone on LinkedIn and they heard you, they're like, you don't exist. Maybe they didn't even see your message at all. How many times has that happened to you?
So for mine, the person was pitching me a mentorship course instead. Out of like 5 people that I reached out to, there was one person that gave me feedback. 2 people, and the 2 people pitched like their mentorship consultation stuff to me.
Interesting. Wait, did they require you to pay for that mentorship consultation?
Yes, they said they require me to like pay for the mentorship stuff.
Amazing. So you reached out to 5 people. The next person, the people that responded to you, decided to sell you something instead, while you were just looking for a way to grow your next step. Amazing stuff. So on one side, we have someone that reached out to people, nobody responded. On the second hand, we have someone that reached out to people, and instead of getting a response, they sold you something instead. All I say, I beg now. By the way, please do not respond. So do not agree or believe anything last thing you say. This is come and help me in public for good one. The point I'm trying to make is you reach out to a lot of people and they're just not going to answer you, right? Not because they dislike you or hate you. There's a high chance that they did not even see the message. The world responds to value. So how do you hack this? How do you put value first? How do you make sure you get mentors that will get you to the next level? So let's talk about the vertical side of the ladder. Again, when you try to remember what vertical is, just think of a ladder, right? That's straight up. When you think of horizontal, think of water, it's flat. That's how I remember what vertical and horizontal is, because I don't always remember. So let's talk about vertical mentorship. Vertical mentorship is the default mode for everybody. Everybody thinks, oh, if I want to become, let's say, for example, I want to pivot from being a product manager now and I want to go into investment banking tomorrow. The default for most people would be, oh, let me look for an investment banker that is top tier there, and that's the person that I want to follow. Or let's say that tomorrow I decide I want to go into politics. I'm probably, the average person will not think of looking for their ward chairman or their local government chairman. They would think of connecting with the governor of their states or some big man in their area as the way to get into politics. So there is always that high disconnect of, if I want to get to the next level, the person that I need to talk to is someone that is very, very high there, right? But that's not always the case. Because when you're starting your career, there's a very, very high chance that if you do not put value one step forward, those guys up there, if they're not doing philanthropy, will just not regard you. Or for the few people among them that have like a little bit of their time cut out for philanthropy or say for giving back, community work, you may be able to book office hours on their stuff. But guess what? There are thousands of you that are trying to book the same office hours. And who do you think they will pick among the thousands that are trying to get those office hour sessions? They will pick the person that has the highest potential or that has the most value to offer, such that they know when they point to this person, they're going to get 1,000-fold back. They're thinking investment mindset. So the question to you today is, if you want to go the vertical mentorship direction and you're looking for a vertical mentor, you need someone that would help you to improve your daily execution. You need someone that would help you open the door tomorrow, that would help you get a foot in the door. Question you need to ask yourself today is, if they give you 1, can you return 10? Are you a person of value? And if you're hesitating to answer that question, you probably just want to look at the things that you've done in the past. Switch things to your strengths, things that you've been able to do easily, and build a sense of value from that direction, and use that as a way to then say, okay, perhaps I can offer value in this way. Let me go back to the example that I was giving earlier. When myself and Harry spoke the first time, and he spoke about, oh, you don't need to do consulting. Instead, you can research product management and check this out. He gave me books to go and read. I read the books. They were PDFs. It was easy to read and digest. The feedback I gave him was a summary of some of those things that I had read and how I think my lesson from some of those things can help improve some of the courses that they're running. So basically, he gave me books on product management, right? To go and read books on product management. And simultaneously, I know that he runs a company that is trying to help people that's trying to teach people the no-code method of getting into tech. And the next thing that I'm doing is, okay, what problems might he be having in this thing that he's trying to run? He has given me resources on product management. Product management is all about solving problems. What if I can suggest solutions to problems for him, or suggest solutions to problems to him? And guess what? When I was doing that, I wasn't doing it with the mind of, oh, I'm trying to be generous. To be honest, I was doing it from a selfish mindset. The mindset at the time was, perhaps if I pitch this, it would give me a job in Treford and I would be able to work there. But guess what? I went to meet him. I told him all of those things. Oh, these are the problems that I think you're having. These are some of the solutions. Oh, employ me to solve them and I will work on Treford. You know what he did instead? He gave me a response that, look for other problems that are elsewhere, problems that you really, really care about, solve them, and let's discuss the solution, which is where the whole thing of Udemy live online classes came about. I started being passionate about live online classes. I realized that I could not find them. I was passionate about live online classes always because it was just easier to compete, right? I realized that I could not find them easily anywhere, like Udemy, where you can see self-paced classes. I talked to him about it, and he's like, yeah, well, go and solve it. I attempted solving it. It didn't work the first time. I spoke to him about it. They started a product management course, and guess what? Without me asking for it, instead of him to sell me the course, right? He gave me the course at more than 50% off. And I just did it. It was as if I was doing the course for free. But realize how long things have progressed before you got to that level. There was first the book. There was next the attempts to solve a problem. Then there was next, go and find your own problem. Then there was next, okay, if you ask me to go and find my own problem, I'll find my own problem and I'll show you I can solve it. The attempts to solve. There was consistent action to prove that there is possibility of value. Now, that's on the closed vertical side. You can have a very, very distant vertical side as well. A very, very distant vertical side is this guy that you have on LinkedIn. The red tie man and the guy that works with him. You probably know him if you're very, very active on LinkedIn, right? And that's like distance of miles apart, right? And it's something that happens 1 in a million. So if you're to cast a bet on your growth, would you cast a bet on something that happens 1 in a million times, or something that you have more control over and that is close to all? That's on vertical mentorship. But let's talk about horizontal mentorship. Horizontal mentorship is more about looking for people that are very, very close to you and trying to use or figure out how the people that are close to you can help you to grow. And why does this work? I will tell you another story on how horizontal mentorship works, and that will take you back to how Peep was started. After I started my career in product management, I realized that there was a lot of shit that I did not know. I mean, I tried to start Kaura, that's the live online classes platform. That didn't work. I realized that, okay, if I want to put food on the table, I probably should not start as a broke person trying to start a company. I probably should make money first and then put money sideways to try and start a company. So I decided to get a job in Fintech. I got a job in Fintech. I was running stuff. And then I realized there was a lot of things that I didn't know. So I made a tweet requesting or asking people to recommend books that I could read or recommend resources that I could check out. And Princess responded to that, right? And we got on talking. And then I realized that she's also just starting her career in product management. She's looking for peers that she can learn from at home as well. Turns out that she, in her own case, had gone through the tough direction. She attempted to do vertical mentorship, sending messages to a lot of seniors on LinkedIn, no responses. In fact, she joined a popular product management community, sent messages on the channel, also no responses. So she decided, okay, is it possible that I can get peers like myself that we can just grow together? So 5 to 7 of us, product managers, just starting our careers, we figured, okay, what if we just pool our resources together, pull everybody together, and then we'll grow with each other? And then we started People in Product Community with the core goal of learning, growing, and cheering each other up together, basically. The first session that we had was a Ask Me Anything session, where it's more or less like blind people are learning from each other. At least, like, if all of us have one high, it's possible that your one high is sharper than my one high. So at least if all of us hold each other's hand, we will not fall down. So that's basically what it was, right? But guess what? Those one high people that started that now have 2 sharp eyes today, and probably every binoculars that is probably worth something, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that only was possible because we realized what's possible. We realized the potentials of the horizontal mentorship pathway. Now, what other things can you learn from horizontal mentorship? Well, horizontal mentorship, on the horizontal side, they're your friends. It's easy for them to give you feedback that, if you're being honest with yourself, you would easily believe it, right? It's easier for your friend to tell you that, guy, you're being stupid, this is probably nonsense, than for your VP at work or your line manager at work to tell you, guy, you're being stupid, this is nonsense. You can take the earlier one from your friend lightheartedly, but you know it's something that you can work on. But you know that second one from your line manager, you will take it very, very serious, and it's probably going to send you into depression for the next 2 weeks. And then when you come out of it, you're probably thinking of how to get out of that place and apply to another job. The 2 of them are the same words, but because they're coming from 2 different kind of people and they're coming from 2 different pathways, your reaction to them will just be different. You are more likely to go into defense mode when it is very, very heavy feedback from vertical mentorship than heavy feedback on the horizontal pathway, which is also why you need to explore the whole horizontal mentorship thing today. So, how do you take advantage of these 2 parts, right? Like, when do you call on horizontal mentorship? When do you call on vertical mentorship? First, let's look at the 2 of them together. On the vertical side, if you're a mid-level person or a senior person, you probably would need vertical mentorship because the next step in your career as a senior product manager is probably to become a CPO and things like that. So you definitely want to start doing cahoots with executive level people, right? Because you need a foot in the door to get in those kind of places, right? You need a formal advisor, you need an advice. You need a formal level to get into that level, to get into that place. But it won't be frequent as much as you can with your peers, right? So it can be a monthly thing or a quarterly thing. So it has its place. It is very, very useful in some cases, right? But on the horizontal side, you're just starting your career or your mid-level. You have an interview tomorrow. Well, bring the horizontal thing on board. Don't just walk into that interview like someone who is unprepared. Get your friend to do an interview prep for you and improve things. In fact, guess what again? One of the things that we used to do earlier in People in Product was interview prep sessions. Your peers would interview you when you're about to have an interview, and gradually you moved on to seniors interviewing you when you're about to have an interview. And it's that interview prep and a couple of other programs that we've collapsed together to the Career Accelerator program that we're having today, right? For all of that from peer mentorship. Another thing that you see about horizontal mentorship or peer mentorship is your comrades in the trenches together, right? All of you are in the weeds. So one way or the other, when one person leaves the trenches, there's a high likelihood that they will carry you along. So you're all living together. So let me tell you another story. My first job, I was earning 100K, and I thought I was living happy. I was living La Vida Loca. Yeah, I don't know if it's La Vida Loca. And one day I had a conversation with Princess, and we were just spitballing. I mean, I think it was myself, Princess, and Bridget. I was just spitballing, and I talked about the fact that I was earning 100K, and I was happy. And then she asked me the question, sorry, how long have you been a product manager for? And then I said, oh, well, now it's around 6 months to 9 months, and I've built a product before. So if you count that one also, I mean, you can probably count at least 1 year, 2 months of years of experience. And then she sent me a link to the standard rates that product managers are supposed to earn. And then I realized that it first made me sad, right? It first made me sad that, guy, you don't underprice yourself. Then the next level was, why are you underselling your potential? So guess what? On our next call, I hear about how, in their own case, they own their value, and when they run interviews, they call salaries for the next level that they want to be in, so that even if they don't get the role, they know what they need to prepare for. I was learning that from my peers, right? So what did I do? I decided that I'm also going to start doing mock interviews or mock applications. That's what I used to call them. So on a monthly basis, I would apply to at least 1 or 2 jobs that I did not need or that I did not want in the next level that I want to be in. I mean, if I'm junior right now, I'm applying to maybe, if I'm associate right now, I'm applying to non-associate role, right? So to a junior role like that, I'm applying to the next step that I want to be in. And then one day, I realized that all the interviews that had failed, I'd created a learning path out of them. And for all the questions I could not answer in all those interviews, I'd gone to learn or take courses on how to actually fix those learning gaps. And I was applying that to the job that was paying me 100K. At that point, I think a month after we had that conversation, I was able to ask my organ to increase the salary. It went to 150,000 naira and then 10,000 naira for data. And my guys were still telling me, guy, you don't underprice yourself. This is crap. So I'm like, yeah, Buga, I'm going to find another job. Anyways, I keep applying for these things. I keep applying for these roles. And guess what? From that salary at the time, the next role I got automatically just went to 600. I basically did ×3 of my earnings from advice from my peers, from learning what my peers are doing and implementing the same thing to grow. My point is, that product manager colleague that you are friends at work, that you only discuss work together, you might not be doing the best with that relationship. You probably need to do more to make sure that you can leverage that kind of relationship to see, okay, what are they doing to grow? Is it something I can do to grow as well, right? Because again, there is zero fear of looking silly. You're able to talk about these things, and then you're able to get past that whole limit of not growing. So let's talk about when to call on vertical mentors. You already know this. If you're a mid-level person going into senior roles, if you're a senior person that needs to go into executive roles, then you absolutely need vertical mentors, right? Because those are roles that you don't get via interviews. They are roles that you get via recommendations. They are roles that you get via a foot in the door. If you're someone that is also navigating an organizational restructure in this world of AI, right, where your company has company politics and you're not exactly the best person on your team that, I mean, not because of quality, maybe just because you don't know how to manage interpersonal relationship. Maybe you're not the best person that your line manager would recommend to stay when push comes to shove. But in that kind of situation, you absolutely need vertical mentors, right? Because again, in this world where AI is coming to shift everybody's leg, 2 things are going to matter: people who can deliver quality and people who know how to manage relationships. So yes, you can deliver quality, but do you know how to figure out the relationship part? So this is a situation where you would absolutely need to leverage your relationship building skills to get a vertical mentor that would get your foot in the door or make sure you don't even leave the house in the first place, or make sure you're not kicked out. So vertical mentorship has its place, right? So how do you build vertical mentorship? How do you get vertical mentors in play? Well, one way you can do that is via a community like this. Let me give you another example that is not personal. When a year or two into starting PeopleInProduct, we'd gotten scale enough that we could then have the CEO series. So we decided we were going to have a month where we'll bring CEOs on board and they will just talk to us, right? We just pick a topic and then they will talk to us. We brought someone from Hidden Life, we brought RiseVest CEO, we brought Trefford Harry, and then we brought one other person I can't remember right now. But all of that was possible because there was the peer mentorship side, right? Now, beyond the peer mentorship side, when we brought these people on board, right, because it was a smaller circle of people that they were talking to, it was easier for people that were asking questions to then reach out to this CEO on LinkedIn later to say, hey, I really enjoyed the session that you gave at PeopleInProduct community. I'm a member of the community and I have a couple of questions as a follow-up. And because now you're asking from a position of value and from value that they've given you, they respond to you compared to someone that is coming from nowhere, right? That's one way to get into vertical mentorship. And a lot of people have done that. Another way you can do this is some of the sessions that we would be having in the future. One of the sessions that we used to have in the past is group mentorship session. And we still have a similitude of that in the product lab sessions that we have. And we have Roger come on board sometimes. When Roger comes on board, Roger basically answers questions from everybody, junior, mid-level, senior, and he does it in such a way that if you need resources after, he would still respond to you even on Slack. Today, if you go to our Slack channel and you send a question and you tag Roger nothing, Roger is the chief product officer. He will still respond to you, right? And when you continue to give feedback questions, I mean, they give you ask a question, they give you a feedback, they give you an advice, you come back to tell them what that advice has done for you and how it has helped you grow. Basically, you're showing them that when they pour into you, you multiply it or you give it you basically give it multiple folds. It's showing that you're someone worth pouring into, and then it continues to increase the proximity such that the vertical mentorship is then worth it. So that's one way you can get into vertical mentorship and then you can make it work. For horizontal squads or for the peer mentorship side of things, right? You already know the things that you can, exactly. You already know the things that you can do in this case, right? There are colleagues that you have on this call that are your product managers together. People that they have introduced themselves on this call. How many of them have you connected with on LinkedIn? In fact, let's leave LinkedIn alone. Message them on PeopleInProduct Slack, right? When you reach out to them on PeopleInProduct Slack, do you tell them about something that you've learned from you checking out their LinkedIn account and what you think about what they're working on, or just resources? Or do you share resources with them that, oh, I was reading this and I found it very interesting in this world of AI. I think it's something that can also very much help you grow. It's basically like playing ping pong, right? When you're doing peer mentorship or when you're trying to grow peer mentors, right? You give the person the resources, they give you something back. You give the person something, give something back. Go back to the example that I gave earlier concerning how PeopleInProduct community started. It's funny how most stories of me growing goes back to me looking for a book or looking for a course. I was looking for a book, I found Princess, and then Princess was trying to start a community. I can run operations, I come on board, I start operations, then from there, I continue to grow, back and forth like that. And you're basically growing together to the point where they're challenging me, oh, you're earning peanuts. You have the value to earn more than peanuts. To earn more than peanuts, rather, increase your capacity to demand for what you're worth, get what you're worth, grow, get what you're worth, grow, get what you're worth, grow, get what you're worth, grow. To the point now where the role that I'm in currently was via recommendation. Like I was not even looking for a job. The last two roles that I've gotten, the last three actually, have been via recommendation. The Bridger was Harry. My role when I was at Wema Bank was a recommendation from the chief growth officer of where I was working the first time. Where I'm working at right now was a recommendation from Princess. Guess what? There's another person that works on my team currently that she coming in was via a recommendation from myself and Bridget. Bridget, for example, came in via a recommendation from Princess and I. But you know why all of those things are possible? Because we saw the value in peer mentorship, holding each other's hands to grow together, and also holding each other's hands to then learn together from vertical mentors that we have access to. So it's not just you anymore, it's you in a band of other people learning from people that they may have connections to, and it basically just makes your life easier. Now, what is a very, very easy way to go about this? Because by the time we leave here today, there's a very, very high chance that a lot of you would say, okay, now we've learned about peer mentorship, and then tomorrow you just continue your life and you do nothing. So let's do a little bit of audits. Last month, right? When it comes to your relationships and your connections, where did most of your energy go? Like, where did you spend most of your energy? And I'm going to call people. Like, you're going to tell us what it is that you did. Who is the person that I spoke to the most last month? It's fine if it's your sister or if it's your friend, or you can give me who you spoke to the most on a career level, right? So I'm going to call Okefe Gifts. Yeah. Where did your energy go on a career level? Where did it go the most last month when it comes to connections and relationships? Gifts. By the way, you can start chat. Yeah, but Gift one.
Okay, I don't know if I'm the right person to answer this question, because I literally just started pivoting to product management, and I recently joined the community. But before that, I was into web development, right? So I had a boss, right, at my former workplace. So I really tried to like build a relationship with him, right? And I would say like he was a good mentor, but now he's like, what's the word? He's retired. He's not actively doing anything. So I kind of feel like it was wasted efforts because when I started getting to know him, that's when he went into retirement.
But guess what? His connections did not retire, did they?
Yeah, his connections did not retire, so he's still valuable.
So the point is, you don't see. So there's something I posted on LinkedIn today. You learn something from everybody that you meet, right? You do not see the value that people have sometimes until you give the value yourself, right? So take, for example, you show something that is value for something that it has care about. There is a very, very high chance that when you then ask for advice with respect to something, they're not just going to give you advice, they would also give you an action plan that would allow you to implement the advice that they're giving you. So take, for example, you say, oh, how do I improve my interviewing skills? They probably would give you something to go and read on how to improve your interviewing skills, and probably set you up to also have a mock interview with someone in their network that they feel can groom you very, very, very when it comes to interviews, right? But they would only be able to do that if you've shown yourself as someone valuable from the very, very beginning, right? So you want to keep asking yourself on a monthly basis, right? At this very, very particular point in my life, am I developing more of horizontal mentors or am I developing vertical mentors? And the formula for me that I try to maintain is 70, 20, and then 10. So because you can also learn from, you can learn from people that you mentor or people that you also give resources to or people that you guide. Right now, my peer mentors are it's a very, very close circle, right? It's just all my hands, right? There is Bash, there's Princess, there's Bridget, right? There's Ibrahim, right? And it's probably one other person I'm forgetting right now. But these are people that if I'm trying to get a new job or if I'm trying to do any new thing and I'm trying to run an experiment, I'm probably going to talk to them about it that, hey, I'm about to waste money on a new startup endeavor. What do you guys think? And they would give you correct feedback. Like they will let you know if you're being stupid or if they need to start keeping a rainy day fund for your very, very future. Because sometimes you decide that, oh yeah, I still want to do it regardless. And then they would know that you would need an intervention in the future and they will start, we need to help his life, right? And they probably would put a therapist on retainer for when the startup endeavor would crash. You need to start taking therapy classes. But that's on a lighter note, right? But what I'm trying to make is, for me right now, I have more horizontal mentors or peer mentors, like I like to call them, that I can always bounce things on. And it applies to them as well. For example, all the times that my peers have tried to apply for other jobs and they have tasks, right? It's not a thing that they then give you the task to go and do it. They will do the task, and then we would judge them on the task before they even submit to the interviewer. Meaning that by the time you're submitting, even if they don't get that job, they have been able to learn from the process of just doing that alone, right? So I guess the question to you today is, do you have peer mentors? And from what you've learned today, how can you pick that? And if you're unable to join another person's circle, like Kolumide, how can you create your own circle? Right. Then on the vertical mentor side, you need vertical mentors at the same time, like very, very important. One of the ways that I've been able to build consistent vertical mentors and that I still need to fix is the places that I've worked at, the line managers that I've had in the past. Because again, it's very, very important to make sure that out of everywhere you work, if they ask at least 9 out of 10 people, would you like to hire him back? 9 out of 10 of them should say yes. I should be ready to pay tooth and nail to get you back. If for you are someone that when they ask your past employers, would they like to have you back? And they're like, I mean, we prefer that you guys keep him. It's good. It's very, very good, but we don't want him. We have our spaces filled. Then you probably need to start rechecking your ways, because it means that you're already just destroying vertical mentorship opportunities that you've had in the past, right? So you want to maintain vertical mentors, senior leaders, directors, or people that have high level attainments that you can reach out to. And it's not that you have to reach out to them all the time. One thing that I'm doing now is I'm trying to find out the birthdays of people that I know that are very, very close to me. And I add it to my calendar so that I get a reminder to reach out to them when it's close to their birthday, right? I just add it. I don't even need to add it to my calendar. What I do is on iPhones, there's the old birthday field. I fill it there. iPhone automatically adds it to my calendar. And it gives me an opportunity to call them, to have a conversation with them on things that I can talk about. Another thing that I can do in this regard is apply the Dunbar's number principle. If it's something you're not familiar with, it's something you probably should go and read. Dunbar's number believes that you can only have a maximum of 150 people at any particular point in time. And these 150 people, they will be in circles, right? So you probably have you have a close concentric circle of people that you talk to on a weekly basis, that you probably cannot go a week without talking to them, right? Then people that you talk to on a monthly basis, or people that you want to talk to on a monthly basis, people that you want to talk to on a quarterly basis, and like that. When you fill all of those categories, or when you fill all of those buckets, it's now your responsibility to make sure that, okay, you find opportunities to talk to them. For example, I was able to fill my vertical mentors in the quarterly box, right? Now, if I want to make sure that I'm talking to them on a quarterly basis, the responsibility for me is to find opportunities to reach out to them. Birthdays was an easy feat. Like, in fact, when I was brainstorming this, I just asked the AI, right? I have filled people in the quarterly buckets. I want opportunities to talk to them. And the response was easy. Birthdays, follow them on LinkedIn for when they have celebrations, maybe they change jobs. Follow them on their WhatsApp statuses also to know when they have celebrations or they have things that you want to commiserate with them with. Father's Day and Mother's Day also. Perfect for sending messages. And then I've seen other people that do Happy New Months. I'm not a big fan of those because at the level that they are at, I know that they receive a lot of Happy New Month messages. So I'm just going to be lost in the midst of every other Happy New Month. So I personally don't do that. But if that's something that you want to do, it's something that you can do as well. And then reverse mentoring or reverse mentorship. When you have gotten something, you absolutely should pull back. For this, I don't need to say so much. I'm just going to ask you to go and watch the session that we had with Lade. Lade basically proved that even if you're just transitioning to product management today, you have something that you've learned in your previous career that you should be teaching other people about, that you should be pouring to other people. And if you don't have anyone that you can teach, preach to the choir, preach to empty chairs. Just talk about it on LinkedIn if you don't have someone that you can share it with directly or personally. Or do you have a problem that you're passionate about? Talk about it even if you don't have the solution, right? So reverse mentorship does not necessarily have to be you looking for people. It can be you talking about things that you're passionate about. It can be you talking about things that keeps you grounded, things that basically keeps you fulfilled. And eventually you get someone that resonates and that wants to tap from that whole wealth of knowledge. And the same way you're looking for someone to learn from, you're able to point to them the same way someone is pointing to you. So to get Lade's link, you want to check YouTube, right? There is, I think, Tobi would help us check our YouTube and then he will send it there. So we're also having another session from Lade in August. So you should check out our Luma link. You see that there eventually. So if you've not learned anything today, how do you fix things, right? How do you think moving forward? How do you build your peer? Number one, right? You want to get friends. The easiest way to form a mastermind pod is your colleagues at work or this community, for example, people that you're here together. Send them resources that you find valuable, right? And when you send them resources that you find valuable, reach out to them if they've checked it out, right? Be an accountability partner for them, right? Ask people about their goals and don't just ask for asking sake. Follow them up to say, oh, that goal that you had that time, have you now met it? When people see that you care about them, it's instinctive that 80% of them will care about you as well. You are forming peers that you can grow together. In the same way, another way to form that bond is to critique people's opinions, right? So if they say they have interviews, run interview sessions for them. If they say they want to start a company, ask them to pitch you first before they go and get their no outside. Like, be their first no. Like, if they say they are looking for investors, even if you're not going to add one add the hand no that, oh no, we probably should not start this. Even if it's something that when they start it will be successful. Be the critique to their ideas so that their ideas are refined by the time they go out there. They will thank you for it. In the same way, engage in the people in product community. Don't just join events. Share your learnings and see how other people connect with you. For example, things that you learn from this session today, you can post them on Slack. And you can also post them on LinkedIn, right? And people that are like minds like you would connect. If you have comments, when they connect via comments, you respond in the comments, and then just from multiple responses via comments, you take it to DMs, and then you probably take it to WhatsApp, where you're then able to build those point. And that way, you're able to build a connection. So what's the action point for you today? Well, for this one, if you don't have a peer squad yet, look for someone that is in this chat today, right? I just reach out to them before Friday. Friday is tomorrow, so reach out to them before the end of tomorrow, or reach out to them before next week Friday, and share with them something that you find interesting. It's fine if it's even a meme, right? Some of my colleagues do that at work. When they see a meme that they find interesting, or they see an Instagram post that they find interesting, they come and post it. It's ridiculous, but if someone can think about you in their moment of happiness and in their moment of joy, it's probably worth something. If someone wants you to laugh with them, it's probably worth something. And from that entertainment angle, they build friendships that then become serious enough that you can build career paths together. So you probably should start asking yourself now, who is that person on this call that are going to message on Slack, or that are going to add on LinkedIn, and that are going to reach out to? For the senior leader side of things, right? And I'm coming to the end already because we have just 5 minutes left. You already know what to do, right? You are not saying, come and be my mentor. It reminds me of a very, very funny story. Myself, Princess, and Bridget, we have this WhatsApp where we always talk and we just chat. And we've seen multiple cases where people would send, hello, hi, I saw you do dash, dash, and dash, and dash. Would you be my mentor? And that's just it. Like, that's just it. No question that you need solution for, no problem that you need advice regards, just will you be my mentor? And guess what? We see those messages, and in some cases when you have high energy, you respond to them. But 80% of the time I don't respond to them. Because if I say yes, what do we do next? Like, will you be my mentor? Yes. Okay. So where do we go from here? I mean, just like I put in the slide, it's like we go on the first dates and then you're automatically saying, come and marry me. Bro, I would leave that place and you would never see me again. I would delete your number and block you on all social media because there has been no connection. There has to be a connection first. There has to be a, values traded. There has to be value traded both ways before you can then say, will you be my mentor? So what's the way to go about it, right? Show value, right? Bring options, right? Tell them situations that you're facing. And even if you say you're going to bring problems, talk about the solutions that you have tried yourself. It's not that, oh, I'm having problem X. What do you think I should do? It's, I'm having problem X. I have tried Y. I think Z would work. What are your thoughts? So it shows that you're someone that has initiative enough to have tried Y, and you're someone that has critical thinking enough to also be thinking about Z as a possible option, but you're not sure, and you need a third party's opinion, or you are deferring to their opinion to say, oh, I think you're someone that is strong in this. I would like to defer to your expertise to learn from this particular situation. So what do you think? Would you guide me in this regard? Again, the best compensation for vertical mentorship is when they see you implement their advice. So if you're not going to implement their advice, honestly, there's just no point. There's no point reaching out to them. So with all this being said, I mean, there was a 30-day audit that I added here. And if this is something that you like to do, you can just take a screenshot of it, right? There are reflection questions that you need to there's something I just need to think about. Take, for example, you want to create a company. Who are the closest product managers to you that you can reach out to or that you reach out to? Say you want to have a 3-year plan. Who is the senior product manager that you can reach out to that can help you and guide your trajectory? Also, on the peer mentorship side, who's keeping you honest about your work? Like, who allows you to know that you're doing nonsense, right? And who allows you or who cheers you up when you're doing great stuff, or you're not confident in the fact that you're doing great stuff? Because I promise you, as a product manager, you would have those days when you're doing great stuff, but because of how things are going, probably because of your merge releases or because of how things are going slow on your team, you think you're not doing enough. And in situations like that, you need your peer mentors to be your cheerleaders to push you through. And in situations where you're fooling yourself as well, you need them to be able to look you in the face and tell you, big man, you're doing bullshit. You need to fix up. With that being said, I'm going to take questions. And I'm also open to hearing what you think is the action plan. Which do you think is the most important? If you have a question, you can just raise up your hand and ask a question while I pass it back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can you please react with clapping emoji to appreciate our speaker for today? I hope you really learned a lot for today. So if you have questions, now is the time to raise up your hands and speak, and you can also use the chat box too. So please let's quickly ask our question. Okay, Ruka, please go ahead.
I'm really hoping someone will not say, will you be my mentor, as a question.
Why now? Why?
That comes with a question mark too now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Good evening, Tobi. Once again, thank you very much for the insightful session. And I think this session came for me at the time that I am literally struggling with my confidence, and I just feel kind of stuck, even though I seem to naturally, everyone around me think that there's a form of progress, but personally for me, it's not. Also, I read your post a lot, and Sheifumi. So immediately, in fact, yeah,
Post where do you read the post a lot?
on LinkedIn.
That's interesting. But okay, go
Yeah, so I think one thing that personally I need to do more often is to engage. I'm very is to engage. I do not engage a lot, and yeah, I can be very chatty, to be honest, and I can hold conversations when I sit with someone or I reach out to someone. My challenge
Yeah.
is keeping the conversation. I can be very 100 on the first day, and this person is reaching out next week. Oh, what's up with your this thing? And I'm on a maybe -50. It's that bad. So by the time I want to reach out again, I feel laid back because I know that I did not give the response, or I did not keep in touch, or I did not maintain the
Yeah.
same level that I came with. So
Yeah.
that is one of the challenge. And
So
I would
question
like
there
to,
is how to maintain connections and relationships, right?
yeah, how to keep that pedestal going when
Yeah.
sometimes you get the response, or you get people to want to talk to you. Now it's
Yeah.
easier at work because everybody find me as a very bubbly person, so it's always very easy for people to know when I'm not in a good mood. So like I said, I'm very chat, but that is easier, especially on this. I go to work now once a week physically,
Yeah.
so it's always very easy for us to, and we share a space, we share table, so it's impossible to really do all maybe 9 hours at work without talking and all of those. So,
Right.
and then it's a professional setting. We cannot just go and talk about personal lives. So,
Yeah.
and then when you mentioned the restructuring thing earlier, I dropped a comment. Of course, it happened to my company, kind of, and there have been a lot of decisions that were taken across team members. So this has really led us to really converse more often. Or what's your plan? What, you seem to be a hustler. What do you think you're doing better? Even
Mm.
though there's no serious form of actions, but I just see that from today's session, I kind of have questions that I know that I should go back, structured questions that I should start asking these people. And I'm the youngest on the team with 1 year experience now. I made a year this month that I joined
Mm.
the company. However, I also know that I've grown so much. I've also taken a lot of bullshit, to be honest. I came as a product manager. Trust me, I'm doing more of QA now, which I'm kind of finding more interesting.
Mm.
Guess what? My CEO asked me to um, get automation testing done in 4 days. I learned API testing in 2 weeks.
You're doing the work of two people and you're
I'm
paying the
telling you.
salary
So
of one. But no other. Just you talk
honestly,
about
so
another.
yeah. So one of the things I was able to learn about myself here in this, like by talking to my line manager, is
Yeah.
that I kind of settle for anything. On the other hand, she is very outspoken, and yeah, I know that it kind of caused some rifts in the team, not directly because I take anything, but I also see that, in fact, I think I cried on stand up yesterday because they were bantering me. I did not take it. I was so emotional about it because somebody ended up calling me CEO's favorite, and it got to me. But she did not say it in a good way. She thought that we're all bantering, but I told them to stop because I wanted to be sure if it was joke or not. And they claimed that it was joke though, but it got to me because I do not like to step on toes, which is also one of something that is not so good when you're trying to reach out to people, because sometimes you cannot control all of those. So I know I've said too much, yeah. And my major question is, how do I manage this relation? How do I keep the pedestal or the energy I have brought in the beginning,
Yeah.
majorly?
So a very, very good thing you want to ask yourself is the energy you bring in at the very, very beginning. Is it realistic and sustainable? Because what you said, I do that a lot as well, where I would go very, very high power when I'm meeting a person. And then it becomes very, very difficult to sustain that personality that I've given to that person because I know it's more or less like I was lying, right? So you first want to ask yourself, are you being authentic and realistic whenever you're meeting people, right? You do not need to embellish when you're meeting people. Yes, you need to show your personal value, but you don't then need to make it hyper thing. But what are the things that I do? For me, I make sure that whenever I'm meeting someone, there is a why, right? Either because I want to offer value so that I would learn something that you're doing, or I just want to be close in your circle so that I can maybe see your WhatsApp status and learn, for example, because there are people like that I don't need to have a conversation with you every year. So far, I'm able to see your status because I know you're always posting something of value, right? There are people like that. So again, you want to ask yourself why? Why are you connecting with this person? Now, after you've done that and you had an authentic connection at the very, very beginning, you can go back to that numbers thing that I talked about, right? So you can read more about numbers, because with that, it puts you in a regimen of connection that, okay, I need to talk to this person every quarter, for example, or I need and I must talk to this person every month. If that's given and that's standard, the next question then becomes, how do I find opportunities to talk to this person? How do I find opportunities to maintain and keep up this relationship? And it solves the problem, right? So take the easy step, for example, and start with birthdays and happy new months and add value of, oh, I saw this article, I think you would like it. Or I saw this news, I saw this meme, I think it will make you laugh, things like that. And just keep it up that way. Again, it's cliche, but it just helps to be true to yourself. And yeah, keep like that.
Thank you very
Also,
much.
by the way, you should follow up with your line manager. They've given you very, very good feedback. You should ask them, how can you stand your ground better, and how can you maintain boundaries? So by the time they tell you what they do, and you start doing the same, and you give them feedback on how you felt in the aftermath of doing what they advised you on, there is no way you guys can close up that relationship. And you're building a vertical mentorship right there. So you have this in your fingertips just to take it up.
All right. Thank you very much, Toby. It's 8:07 already, and we still have
I
like
would think
3
more
hands.
questions.
Okay, all right. So let's take
Just
two.
like summarize the question. Let's start. Yeah.
All right. So Abdurrashid, please let's be fast. Like let's go straight to the point so that others who can come up. All right, Abdurrashid, are you here?
All right.
Go
Hello,
ahead.
everyone. Good evening. Hello, Mr. Tobi. I think my own problem is a bit similar to Rukayat's own, but I think Rukayat is more advanced than I do. Uh, I've been a product manager. Should I say, I was on the learning part of product manager for a bit while. I think this the third year, if I'm not mistaken. But along
Are
the
you able
way,
to
I
ask the
got
question
out.
without context?
Sir?
I can ask you if you need
Sir?
context. Are you able to ask the question without context? I can ask you if there's need for context because time has gone a lot before people start thinking of me as
Let,
someone who does not want to
let me
speak.
just let me just go straight to the point. I think what I want is maybe to build on my confidence. I'm currently working in a bank, but I just find it difficult to like find a cheaper way to like, or should I say, to improve on some of the activities. So I just want to build on I just wanted you to just advise me on how to build on the confidence. That's it. I just lack confidence. That's just it.
I have
I
one
hardly
question.
person do it.
Find
Hello,
challenges
sir.
currently. How do you find
Sir?
challenges now? How do you find things that challenge you right now? Like, how do you find problems?
Sir, I don't like. I'm just out of the line for a while. That's what I said. So this is
My
my
brother,
second
you
time
find
of
problems, so because it's problems that give confidence.
yes,
That you just need to find
yes, sir.
problems. Me, that's what I
All
do.
right.
I'm always looking for
Okay,
wahala. Right? So, and again, confidence comes on multiple levels, right? Because you want to build expertise, and then it's basically compounds. So, with your work currently, one thing again, let's go back to Princess. One thing that I know Princess does is Princess keeps a journal of wins, right? So she would list whenever she does something great at work, she would write it down. Whenever someone gives her a compliment at work about how she did something, she will write it down. Whenever she writes a document and some engineer says, "Oh, that's a great work. I like the way we were able to do this fast." She would take a screenshot, she would keep it in a folder and then keep it there. For her, it allows her to be able to go back to those memories whenever she lacks or whenever she feels down to say, "Hey, I'm good enough. I can do this. I'm great." And that's something to back on. On the other side, you can look for problems like I do. For me, I'm always looking for challenges, right? Things that would shake me to my core, like problems that would that would keep me up at night, things that I know I probably can't solve, but I know that by breaking them down, I will sort them out. For example, the role that I'm in currently, when I resumed the job, I had zero idea how to set up selling that whole product via the network. But guess what? We made it work. Today, that product is over 10 billion in AUM, and it's still growing. Doesn't mean there's been no challenges. There have been challenges, but it's the challenge that builds the confidence. So two things, right? Keep a journal of your wins and find voila. I mean, it's whimsical, but that's just what
All
I
right. Thank you very much. So,
You and
Toluwani.
send me a message on Slack, I beg. You know what to do. I don't know why your hand is up.
No,
Okay.
no. I
All right.
actually
So
wanted.
that's see, Toluwani, that's a direct link for
No, no,
mentorship
no.
already.
But
Wait,
let's
I
hear after
actually
that.
wanted to
And then
help you answer Rukaya's question.
okay.
Don't worry,
Oh,
1 minute,
okay.
I'm done. So for what she said, I related so much and I've overcome it. So I just want to share it with anyone that wants to hear. So for horizontal mentorship or like getting peers in your level, make friends with people through experiences. So go for volunteer to what they call set up conferences, go for boot camps. Already there's a common ground. You and people there want to learn. So it's easier to make friends with people that you've already, because the reason why is a bit shy when you meet someone is because you don't know anything about the person. You can literally be anybody. But when there's a common ground, go on. Like now, for me, the example that came to my mind was I joined Product Dive last year for 2 months, and the friends I made there, like not even work, product kind of friends, it's easier to catch up because we did sprint planning together, we did our projects together, we did our demos together. So make friends through experiences. Find something you're interested in. If you're interested in volunteering for conferences, find those kind of conferences. Give your all in it. You will see your kind of people that are giving their all in it. Connect with them. You guys can bond over bad or good experiences, but it's easier to also come to them with, "Oh guy, I have this opportunity. Oh guy, can you help me?" So that's for horizontal mentorship. The second thing is the confidence. Anytime you start feeling imposter syndrome, it's just a highlighter that you feel you need to know more about English. I'm trying to be fast. You feel you need to know more, so it's doing you. So just carry the imposter syndrome, everything you feel you're feeling bad about, write it down, then go and look for where you want to learn it. I promise you, once you've learned what is giving you imposter syndrome, it will disappear because now you have enough knowledge. So see imposter syndrome as a call to, okay, I need to learn more. So the more you learn, the more you up your knowledge gap. So me now, I'm happy when I get imposter syndrome. Tobi can bear me witness. I came to his DM one time with 2 hefty courses, and he thought it was a joke. It's because I started feeling imposter syndrome. So me now, I've already gone to package all the courses that will teach me what I want to learn to treat that imposter syndrome. Then I'll probably work a bit. Then to come back again when I'm ready to grow. So that's what I wanted to just say for anybody to.
Very much.
You're not
Yeah.
confident. You're just hungry to learn, and it's just showing up in a different kind of way. So yes, that's what I wanted to say.
We need to bring you to come and speak here. That's great feedback.
That,
Thank
So
you,
I
that's
think
really
Toby.
amazing. That's really amazing. Thank you, Toluwani. Thank you. So thank you everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to just one, Toby, just one. Gift, can you please go ahead? Last one.
Okay, thank you. So it's a very simple question. I just want to take quick,
Straightforward.
which is I'm aspiring to be a product manager. Right? I'm not a product manager. I was into web development, mostly freelance. The only time I've worked at a company was when I did, I'm fresh out of uni. So when I did my 4 years, you do your CWES, and I did a internship at a popular fintech, right? So my question is like, what is a viable roadmap or pathway to like becoming a product manager in like today's market?
I would like Olasende or Antonio to answer that question. I think that they're seniors, so they're perfectly suited to respond. Antonio, Olasende, one of you. what do you think is the perfect way to become a product manager in today's market?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I think I'm going to say something it's not sarcastic, but to be honest, you said today's market, and today's market, build something. It might be funny, right? But that's the reality of the market. If you talk to Bitcoin people, right, and they're like, how do I buy Bitcoin? They will tell you what to do, right? And they will tell you based on what is happening in the market at the moment, right? If it was like 4 or 5 years back or more, right, Samuel, at least you can bear me witness. If anybody advised you to build something, then the person is lying. The closest to what you can build back then would be like a portfolio, which is not really anything. It's not even or Google form, or you carry out some survey and you can speak to data and tell people that you've done this. But in today's market, AI has made things cheap and expensive at the same time. So in a market like that, like a market that is very clustered and all of that, one thing you don't want to make a mistake of doing is not doing anything. And you have to do what is the new level of basics and like fundamental in that space, and which is, like I said, build something. It doesn't really matter if people are using it. What matters is that you built it. Of course, the icing on the cake would be if you can just a little bit edge over the other types of people, right, that will just build that thing and put it on their portfolio that, oh, I'm using it, I built this and that's all. Because it literally everybody can now build. But if you can just go further a bit beyond building, put yourself in the pain position, right, of seeing the shaggy that a typical founder would see, right, which is take that shame away, try to talk to customers, potential customers, let people insult you, let people tell you that the idea is not good, just all those little things. Trust me, I'm not even joking. This little thing I just said now, it can transform your confidence when you are even in an interview. When you be talking to an interviewer and you'll be like, I don't want to miss out on this guy. You understand what I'm saying? So
yes.
I can just keep talking, but that's the summary of it.
All right. Please don't keep talking.
Yeah,
We enjoy you talking, but we really appreciate you. Thank you, Lashende, for that. So, apologies, everyone. We normally end this call by 8 o'clock. So, we've taken extra. I'm sorry, if you're raising up your hand, we cannot call you anymore. So, thank you. I hope you've learned a lot on this call, and I hope you will not just listen and then just like Toby said, just abandon everything, but make sure you practicalize it. Thank you very much, and have a good night's rest.